Attitudable opens the door to a new world of people transforming lives and the way we do business. This is a space to share ideas, dreams, experiences with the conviction that attitudable humans can attain anything. Would you like to thrive in today's communications? Welcome to our podcast. My guest today is Ayesha Bibha. Ayesha is the author of the book Mind Speed: How Ambitious Leaders Cleverly Use Their Minds Over Time and Energy. For over 15 years, Ayesha walked on an ambitious path as mom, teacher, speaker, and facilitator in the areas of agility, resilience, insights, and mindset. Welcome to our podcast, Ayesha.
Thank you so much, Dolores, for having me. And I'm sure that I can add some value to your platform.
Thank you. It's a pleasure having you today. We have listened to your TED Talk last year in March that was very thought-provoking because of the research and all the information you provided. Can you share with us a bit of your talk, TED Talk?
Sure, of course. And yeah, I remember because I started learning on neuroscience and leadership from 2015. And then I started thinking of how can I apply some of these into my life, which can make my life easier and I can be more productive. So I have been feeling always very fascinated in the space of self-leadership. So in my speaking and my mentoring session, I found that these are the some very key tools and very easily applicable tools that anyone can apply to improve their life better. So I thought that this could be a good beginning to spread more message on neuroscience and self-leadership. So I called the TEDx talk as a speed of mind, and now which is coming up as my book in a shorter word. I said like it's mind speed. So the interesting side is I just wanted to convey the message that the speed of everything around us, like the process, the way we deal with the policy, the strategy, the procedure, is not the same of a human speed. So human need to take their own time, and they have to understand the way they perform at their own speed, and they need to understand the science behind the way we use our mind and how we could just apply some of the tool that we have got from the scientists that can immediately apply in our everyday's life, which will have a huge impact in our everyday productivity. So that's what I call the speed of mind in my TEDx talk.
Awesome. And is that speed applicable the same to every human being, or does it differ?
I will say it's for everyone. It's not because I'm telling it, but I think human has got some beautiful way of thinking and visualizing. Regardless whatever the technology we are using, we have a gift of visualize what we want to get out of ourselves. So we can use these small tools like visualization, intuition, and having more insight, having more idea. So do we really practice consciously to have this visualization, intuition, instinct, and idea generation in our everyday productivity at workplace or not? So we can be more productive, we can make more better decision if we could do this. So that's why I would like to say, like, yes, it is for all the human, especially I will say very much important for the knowledge worker, because the knowledge worker have to produce the mental performance more than the physical presence. They have to decide in a quality way, they have to think in a strategic way, strategic way. So this is the point. It comes about the mental or cognitive ability of making better decision.
Exactly. And even more today, in these trying times for all the world.
Absolutely, yes. And it's very important. Now I feel once I'm facilitating with a small group, they can easily get the message comparing to one or 2 months before, because now we can really understand that this is a situation where I am ready to do everything, but somewhere my mind is not ready, and we think that it takes longer time for us to finish a job. It's not about the time, because if I'm not getting my mind ready, it will take my whole day, even days after day, to make a small job done. It's not because I'm lazy, it's because my mind is somehow overwhelmed or stressed or anxious or facing uncertainty. That's why it's not able to perform in a quality way.
Exactly. So we can train, you say that you can help people train their minds in a way to manage their brain or speed up their brain, the functioning of the brain.
Absolutely, yes. It's some
It's doable.
tool
Mhm.
individually we can apply. It's a small thing, but it has a huge impact. That's what we create, some awareness among people, that if you do this, we can have some quality way of having good sort of energy in our brain, so that we can get the ability to think more clearly. We can remove some of our emotion. So a lot of change, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of emotion comes together. A lot of places I see people are stressed because of the financial uncertainty, and which is a huge thing for any human, the financial uncertainty. So how do I manage my stress so that I can think more clearly, and I can think of something different that may create some uncertainty in my future, rather staying stuck with the uncertainty and being fearful, being stressed, being overwhelmed, which is not healthy for our mind and for our and eventually for our body. So we can't really perform well if we keep staying in the same mental state.
Exactly. Many people sometimes have different illnesses because they like absorbed every negative emotion and cannot separate that. Well, it's difficult. We know that. It's not an easy task.
Absolutely. No, emotion is uh, it's interesting if you mentioned that it's difficult, and emotion has got a privilege in our mind because it can work 60 times quicker than a logical part of our brain. So even if we try to be logical, the emotion runs after the logic 60 times faster than the logical part of our brain. So we have to be more conscious about how do I deal my emotion, how do I look after my brain, how do I have some breaks or have some mindfulness practices throughout the whole day, so I become proactive to manage the emotion throughout the whole day, rather waiting for at the end of the day doing some meditation. Because by the time I'm doing a 10 minutes meditation, but the whole day is long time, I'm stagging my emotions, I'm piling emotion after emotion, so it's not enough to do it at the end of the day or end of the week. So we have to have a new lifestyle, new kind of routine throughout the days, some sort of practice, small practice over the time, so that we can continue managing our own mind.
Ah, great. Because like, what do you recommend? Like to have it at just at the beginning when you wake up and you have all the day ahead, and also in other times throughout the day? Or what would be your
Yeah,
suggestion?
I will. good question, Dolores, because um, when we wake up, we got a whole brain full lot of energy. And what is our practice? What is our natural way of starting our day? Do I look at my phone and start looking at all the notification and newses, which are almost all the time the bad news is first, because those are sellable, right? So am I consuming all the negative newses in the very early in the morning, or I'm concerned about doing some meditation, having some gratitude, and being thankful that I am starting a new day, and being excited to do something different or talk to someone else so that we can share and brainstorm to come up with some idea. And also, once you're working, we have to be also concerned that our brain doesn't have a lot of energy throughout the whole day. And if we start the day, it consumes the energy. We have to have a time to refill the energy, like we have to do it, like I mentioned in the TEDx talk, that if you're driving a car, you have to refuel it, otherwise you're running out of gas. So similarly, our brain has to refuel as well, because otherwise, if we run out of the gas, then we cannot think clearly, and it's very easier in that state to get emotionally more aroused in a quicker way. So
Exactly.
we have to be concerned that I will suggest in every 3 hours, we can do some breathing exercise. We can do some mindful practices, like not more than 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. But that 2 minutes, 1 minute, 3 minutes helps a lot if we can practice throughout the whole day.
Awesome, like sharpen the saw. Sometimes we are too busy or too focused on finishing a task, as you said, that we get exhausted, and that's not the way it should go.
Yeah, and we need to realize that I need some break, and it's I or you who will decide that yes, this is the time I have to take a break. So we have to be more aware of what my brain needs at this moment. So do I need to drink more water? Do I need to get some protein, some energy, some food? So we can't rely on some artificial energy like sugar or caffeine, rather getting the healthy energy from the food, from fruits, from vegetables, from good diet. So my reason for mentioning that, if we even feel I'm awake, if I take an extra cup of coffee, that will keep my brain on. It is on, but it's not in a quality way. It's not on because it's having some quality thoughts inside of it. It's not able to process in a quality way, because the thing it's lacking is the quality oxygen and the quality of glucose that we are intaking.
Mm, you're right. As linguists, as a linguist or translator, you're always looking for delivering the best quality, as you say. And it's tricky because sometimes you think, well, another cup of coffee and I will be able to create or to, finish the translation. And that's not the way if you really listen to your needs. Exactly. And you
Absolutely.
also and you also mentioned something about unlearning. Do you remember the like we have
Yes.
to learn to unlearn in a way,
Yeah,
right?
very much.
Would you explain us that?
Sure, obviously. And to me, I will say this is the time again to start unlearning again.
Mm.
Like I see in the COVID situation, there are a lot of changes we have to apply. It's not because we want to, it's more because we have to, right? Because we are not able to go outside the way we used to. We are not able to go to our office the way we used to. So now it becomes we have to. So we are forcing ourselves to accept some situation. But the question comes, am I accepting with a positive way or in a negative way? So
Mm.
if I do not accept in a positive way, then it's far much easier for me to go back to the old pattern.
Mm.
So if I come to the learning space, so am I accepting a new learning in a positive way or in a forceful way? So if I am forceful to learn something new, then it has got a high chance that I will go back to my old learning.
Mm.
So to stop me going back to my old learning, I have to start unlearning.
Mm. Not
So that
resisting.
unlearning is possible if I am conscious about my reason of learning. So I learned something, fine. I applied it, and then I found that it's not 100% possible at this moment because the situation is changed. So now I have to unlearn, and then if I can unlearn, then I can relearn the new way. It's like if I do not empty my cup, I can't pour extra water into my cup because it's already full.
Mm.
So
I
similarly, we have to unlearn if we want to relearn. If we want to build a new habit, we have to think about the habit that we do not want to carry on further.
perfect. And that's also a process that can be acquired.
That's a process, and we can say it's a process of building a new mindset, building a new growth mindset, creating new habits,
Mm.
so that we can unlearn a lot of things that we do not need, and we can see the benefits of applying new learning and relearning something new.
Perfect. Awesome. And throughout this process, we can also intersect or add creativity or aha moments, as you said, or as you told us. Is it possible
Um,
to do that, to add or to acquire?
Absolutely. If
Mhm.
we could pause.
Sure.
Sure. It's an interesting and also good question, because sometimes we feel creativity is something happens in a very sudden way, or we think that creativity comes through a process of brainstorming, asking questions, sitting with a group, and then working together kind of thing. But the background of arousing those creative part of our mind, it has got something to do by ourselves, and we can really create an environment where we can think in a creative way. So we can ask like how. So in a how part, once I said like we have to take some break throughout the whole day. It has one benefit, that if I take a break, and within the break, if I do some deep breathing, and if I take some time to eat some quality food within the break, then I am supplying the energy to my brain, which includes the blood, and blood means the oxygen and the glucose. If I don't have enough energy, then my brain is not able to think clearly. And if I also take those break, my brain will also be able to generate some insights inside of our brain.
Mm.
And the only requirement to create an insight is we have to quiet our brain. We have to quiet our logical part of our brain. So we can blend this thing together, like as I said, like deep breathing, we can do it in a quiet way, so that it's not just running and doing some deep breathing, and also looking at some notification newses or listening to some podcast. So I'm actually making my brain still busy even though I'm breathing. Rather having some quiet time, the doing nothing, and trying to be mindful, practice some mindfulness. How do I feel? How does it uh, listen to some noise around me? Can I listen to the bird singing? Can I listen? How does it smell? How does the temperature is changing? So observing, feeling, and listening the present scenario around us, that help us to make our attention out of that busy part of our brain, and it quieten our brain. So, and that's the place where we can generate more insight.
Great, like really taking the time to breathe.
Taking the time to breathe. Even in our workplace, we generally suggest people that do not run meeting after meeting, conversation after conversation. Have a pause in the middle of the conversation, ask a few questions, and leave your team members to have some sort of thinking. Like you can say, now we'll be taking a 5 minutes break so that we can think, and then we'll come back and we'll start the conversation again. So that will give a, a space to them so that they can bring some insight out of their mind.
Perfect, very clear. And just to round up, Aisha, what would you like to recommend as a final thought for the new leaders, maybe young people or people like me, for example, with many years in the profession, service, freelancers, remotely working, to have to in order to apply and have better endings, happy endings with this new like VUCA word. I don't know how to pronounce it. That you also mentioned.
Yeah, you're right. The VUCA world is answer all the uncertainty, like volatile, uncertain. So we are in the middle of uncertainty,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not in a particular country. It's a global scenario, and we all are facing the same situation almost. But I will say this is the time, as a leader we have to step up, and that stepping up has to start with yourself. So we all have to think that we are taking a lead of by taking care of myself first, so that we can help other people. We can equip ourselves, getting ourselves ready so that we can help other people. Like you are taking a lead of having the podcast and having that message and to bringing that out of the place so that everybody can listen to it and get some awareness. So from that space, I will say the young leaders, or like us, the older leaders, both of us have to think about from the self-leadership again, so that we can stay in a calm and in a peaceful and in with a self-love and a graceful manner, so that we can have our pace once we are still serving and trying to help other people, not being shaky, not being vulnerable much with the situation itself. So we can take that step. And first of all, and for that I will say it's very helpful if we can start with the deep breathing exercises, because a deep breathing, it's a huge benefit, I will say. Like a lot of research, we saw that the only deep breathing has got. And if I want to mention two things, if we deep breathe for 10 minutes, it will add 24 hours productivity in our mind.
Wow.
Like 10 minutes a day deep breathing will add another day of productivity in our mind, the capacity of deep breathing. So if we do it more frequently, then I am clearing my mind throughout the whole day so that I'm not stuck with my emotion, with my negative energy, with my negative feeling, because we can't avoid what is happening around me, but we can avoid being absorbent with all these negative things. I can safeguard myself to absorb all these negative things so that I can think more clearly. I can help other people to make a clear decision.
Thanks a lot, Ayesha. Would you like, what's the best way for people to connect with you, to contact you in order for them to have your help to acquire these deep breathing and these techniques in order to really improve their productivity in their daily lives?
Absolutely. I'll be very glad to help you. And please reach me through my LinkedIn profile. You can also reach me through my website. There is my email address also there in the website. So from LinkedIn or website, Ayesha, AYESHABIBHA.com, you can either way want to reach me. I'll be glad to help you.
Awesome, Aisha. I will write all your details and social media in the show notes. And thanks again. And we are really waiting for your book as well. Thank you a lot.
Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you.